Tankersley?
Here.
Mr. Wilson?
Here.
Mr. Lippert?
Here.
Mr. Lovett?
Here.
Mr. Cook?
Here.
Mrs. Knight?
Here.
And Mr. Schmidt?
Here.
Approval of minutes. Are there any additions or corrections to the minutes that were sent out? Seeing none, those are approved as written and distributed. We're going to move on to reports and communication. Mayor Hardman.
If you would join me up front.
I would love to.
There's a reason we have all these great firefighters here tonight. Chief, would you join me? So it is always great for us to be able to swear in new individuals to the department. They're not really new. They've been with us for a little while, but they're actually now full-time with us. So Kyle and Erica, come on down. You are the next contestants to get sworn in tonight. There's no hooping and hollering. You guys can do that. So first of all, we've got Kyle Paul. Kyle has been with us, or started in the fire service since 2017. He's been with us since 2019 in July. He's worked at the Paint Creek Fire Department prior to starting full-time with us. Kyle likes golf and off-roading. Kyle, who's here? You got anybody here tonight other than your...
my parents and my girlfriend at the end.
All right, they're over here. Where are your parents at? There they are. Good to see you. This is Erica Morian, like Marion. Erica started with our fire department as a medic only back in August of 2019. She earned her fire certification while working here. She's coming to us from the Franklin Fire Department. She likes hiking, being outdoors, and spending time with her family. Erica, who do you have?
I have my parents, Rick and Kathy Marion, and then my best friend, Amanda Ondurko.
Always great to have you guys here to support them. Always great to have that lineup of folks back there. So we also have a third new firefighter paramedic, Jacob Saunders, but he doesn't get to enjoy all this fun and excitement because he couldn't be with us tonight. So he's sick. So hopefully he'll get better soon. No cookies for him. All right, the two of you will raise your right hand and repeat after me. We'll get you sworn in and make this official. I, and state your name, do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States of America, the Constitution and laws of the state of Ohio, and the city of Sharonville, and that I will honestly and faithfully discharge the duties of the position of firefighter paramedic. That's close enough. To which I have been appointed. According to law. And to the best of my ability. Congratulations. All right. You'll start down there. All of these folks want to shake your hands and congratulate you. And then we'll invite your family up so you can do some pictures. All right? So going right down there, council. All right, and Erica, come on up. I think we're going to get you pinned here. Is that right? Stay right there. Absolutely. Congratulations. Glad to have you continuing that. Thanks, guys. Keep going. All right. But we're not done. We have one other thing to take care of. John, come back up here. What? You think I'm going to make fun of you or something? Or, I mean, it's not like you haven't been up here before. You've never been up here for this reason, though. So, yeah, come on. We have other people that are out there. Let's bring them in. You know these people?
A few of them.
Yeah?
Maybe not after this.
Yeah, come on in. Come on in. Fill in. So obviously we had a recent change in the fire department, and we thank you very much for your service as acting chief over the last few weeks, your continued service as acting chief. We made a request of the Civil Service Commission. Paul Cattleman, our chairperson over there, was kind enough to work with them to make this possible so that we could make an extraordinary appointment. And extraordinary is, I don't know if that's the actual word, but that's actually what we're doing here because you are extraordinary. And the service that you've given to the city, this is appropriate. No matter how long it lasts, we know you're on your way out really soon. But it is my pleasure to, as mayor, to formally and officially appoint you our fire chief for at least the next 2+ weeks. So we're going to swear you in. Raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name.
I, John Mack,
Solemnly swear
solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution
that I will support the Constitution
and laws of the United States of America,
and the laws of the United States of America,
the Constitution and laws
the Constitution and laws
of the state of Ohio
of the state of Ohio
and the city of Sharonville,
and the city of Sharonville,
and that I will honestly and faithfully
and I will honestly and faithfully
discharge the duties
discharge the duties
of the office of fire chief, to which I have been appointed
to which I have been appointed
according to law
according to law.
and to the best of my ability. Chief, congratulations. Did the surprise work?
Yes. Yes, it is.
Now it's speech time.
Well, first of all, I'd like to thank everybody for coming out. This was totally unexpected. People will pay for it. But no, it has been an honor to be the assistant chief of the Sharonville Fire Department for all these years. And thank you. Thank each and every one of you. Thank you.
All right. They want to congratulate you, so make your way down there. After you make your way through the line here, we'll get your family up here to take pictures. Are we taking a little break? Is that the plan?
We are taking a 15-minute break just to take pictures and maybe get all the firemen up here to take pictures with feedback and things like that. There's cookies and there's brownies over here. Please help yourself. No, I did not make a strawberry shortcake. I apologize. We'll be back on September 24th. After a couple of the package sheets. Okay, I think it's safe to go ahead and proceed.
The only other item I have for my report this evening is this Saturday at 9 o'clock. There is a joint Hamilton County Municipal League, the Township Association's meeting. It's going to be at 9 o'clock in the morning at the Robert Schuler Center. Hopefully you all are receiving emails from the Hamilton County Municipal League because you all are all members of it. We have invited a panel of all of our state legislators, senators, and representatives to be part of that panel to kind of talk about what's going on in the State House, answer any questions that might be of interest to you. So if you are interested in attending that, I would suggest you get an email out to Steiny Vonderhaar tonight or tomorrow so that we can count you in for breakfast that morning and make sure that we have plenty of food to feed you. But that is this Saturday, 9 o'clock in the morning. If you don't have an email invitation that you can't find, let me know and I'll get it sent back out to you. And Glenn's looking at me with a very puzzled look, which probably means he's not on the list yet because he's the new guy, but we'll make sure he gets a copy of that. But if you guys need it, we will certainly get that to you too.
I was going to say, I'm not getting it since we did the flip.
That could be why too. So I will make sure you all get the invitation.
Thank you. Were there any questions for the mayor? Seeing none, we'll move on to our Safety Service Director, Mr. Lucas.
Thank you. Two things before we go into the legislation. The first, hopefully finalizing the date for our 5-year capital meeting. By far the best date per the survey results was October 30th, Saturday. Just wanting to confirm that is the date from 8:30 to noon or so with breakfast at the convention center.
Perfect. Thank you. Everybody put that on your calendars.
Second item, John Creech is here this evening to talk about the current status of our downtown renovation phase 1.
Good evening, City Council. Okay, just want to step back a little bit and go back to the overall loop master plan that was approved back in 2020 in June. As you recall, that plan included basically all of downtown, all the way up from the split at Reading and Lebanon Road, all the way down here to the city building. And as part of that plan, Kleinger's and Associates, looked at the overall plan and, we asked them, hey, give us some phases that we can work on this project and implement it over time, especially given the overall size and possible project cost. So I just highlighted the 3 areas on here that we're talking about. And these are some of the most critical areas right in the center of the loop. First is deep was the existing situation, and as you recall, many of you, I think, attended that August 4th public input open house meeting held at the Sharonville Cultural Arts Center. Excuse me. I think we had about 50 in-person attendees. Then we also put that information on the city's Facebook page. We got a lot of good comments. There were lots of great ideas, and the work that Kleinger's did working on those concepts, really generated a lot of discussion. One thing you probably heard about was we did, a couple of the concepts actually showed Creek Road being converted from currently 2-way back to a 1-way. And what that would do is it would give a little more space to do some more interesting things within that Depot Square area. But overwhelmingly, and maybe you heard these comments yourself, overwhelmingly the comments at the meeting and online were against that. And then there were other reasons as well, because you would force traffic up off Walnut Street or through the U.S. Postal Service parking lot. And if you go out there, you see they actually have signs posted that say, no semi or truck traffic through their parking lot. So that if we did that, that could create some very practical problems. So this is the concept, and these concepts, and I actually emailed these to you earlier or last week, include revisions, comments received at the public meeting, as well as Facebook comments. So these concepts show keeping the configuration of that roadway as two-way and doing as much as we can within that space. The highlights obviously are a water feature, a kind of a mini amphitheater with seating, a digital sign to advertise city and community events, just some private spaces back in the back there in the area near Already Cafe, and then an overall remaking of that entire plaza, the surface areas, and then some improvements out in the street area as well. And then, and a lot of these images were shared and voted on at those public meetings as well, but Kleinger's just developed this list of, just to give you a visual idea of some of the improvements, what they would look like. These aren't the final designs, obviously, but just to give you kind of an idea. And then Creek Road was the other area that was looked at, critical link between right in the middle of downtown. And we went back and forth. There was ideas about making the street smaller, basically 2 lanes. It's called a road diet, maybe adding on-street bike lanes. And again, that could be something in the future, but at least for now, we looked at this and comments where keep it as is, and we could do some other things to encourage biking in this area when the bike path eventually does arrive here in the community. But make some improvements to the street area, make it more encouraging for holding festivals in the downtown area. And I can't read, maybe you can read these, but basically creating a system of bollards at each end of the street so it can be closed off maybe during the weekend to hold community events in that area. A lot of people actually talked about some community events that were held in the past, so they were happy to see that included as part of the plan. And then adding some special pavement treatments to the roadway just to make it kind of an inviting area. And then here are just some images of some of the fixtures and additions to the area that are considering. And this is what I was talking about. Instead of doing a dedicated bike lane and removing a lane of traffic, there is a lot of traffic out there, and they actually did some traffic counts last year when they did the master plan. But these here just show basically the share the road concept. You've probably heard that, where basically vehicles and bicycles travel in the same space. And then the third area is the Walnut Street. And here on the north end of the downtown loop, there's not as much traffic there, but one thing we quickly discovered was, in addition to there not being a lot of traffic, there's actually space there to achieve some on-street parking. That was part of the original concept plan. So we've added that in here. Basically, it would be a resurfacing of the road and adding on-street parking. We'll be able to get about 5 more parking spaces. And just going back to that original overall concept for the downtown master plan, there are several other areas where we think we could create some more on-street parking, because parking is always something that comes up no matter from lots of businesses.
Hate to bother while you're doing this. Looking at this with specialty screen and glass, if you was to put additional parking in here in the future, I know that they normally have semis bring glass into them. Mm-hmm. Would that affect any way in the future if this, whenever this goes into effect, if that was even thought of?
Where are they located? On Walnut?
Yeah, right here at the corner of Main and Walnut.
Down, the other side.
Oh, over here?
Right, it's like a house.
No.
Oh, no, we're just talking, that shouldn't impact them at all.
Okay.
Because this would be, but yeah, this area is specifically between Main and Reading,
Okay.
that area, sorry. I didn't say that. But yeah, this is just between Main and Reading. But yeah, I mean, that's a good comment, because even when we did the comp plan, or the overall plan last year, we actually did get comments from a number of property owners, like, hey, I see this is going on, is this a done deal? It's like, no, we'll work with any property owner if they have comments or concerns about driveways or access or anything like that. So, a lot of this I kind of went through already, but I just wanted to point out that as part of this, so Kleinger's and Associates did they took the overall loop concept plan, and we asked them as part of their current contract to hold an open house, get some more public comment, especially into the Depot Square area. And as a result of that, all the good public comments, there are some, if we want to do this, there are some additional items and features that currently do not exist there, that if we want to pursue, will require some additional funding. That includes the water feature splash pad, the small amphitheater I mentioned, the decking redesign. There's lots of giant landscaping structures around the Good Pie-All building, probably familiar with those. So some of that will have to be reworked. Electrical design, engineering, and plumbing associated with all of that. And they've given us an estimate to do that, about $26,500. So two things we'd like for City Council to do is concur with the proposed conceptual design so they can move forward with that. And if you agree with that, the second thing would be to approve additional funding so they can get into the detailed design of these new features that have been added as a result of those public meetings. And the one thing is, when we approve the Loop Master Plan in 2020, part of the ordinance specifies that City Council review and approve each segment as it moves forward. So that's why it's here. And Mike Slagle is here, Kleinger's and Associates, if you have any specific questions about any of the design features or anything like that at this point. Yes, sir.
Mr. Wilson?
The one question that I have is the Duke plan for the new light poles that are going to be in that area. It doesn't show those on there anywhere. I was just wondering if there was some way to get an overlay of putting those poles into that design so we can see where they're fitting in as well.
Right. Those poles on Main Street, they are not, well, let's go back here. Nope. So they're not part of these three mini projects?
No, I know, but
right.
Aren't they
going
going to be on this route though?
Yes, we'll have
I was under the understanding that it was going to be, that there were going to be some poles on that loop.
on the Main
That
Street.
Duke was putting in.
On Main Street. But as that project moves forward, all that will be incorporated into the master plan.
I'm just wondering if there was a way to put designate, like show on the map where those poles are going to show up in relation to the new design for the downtown loop. Or is it not even going to be on what we've seen so far?
It's not going to be in those areas.
Yeah, right now we're looking at the square, the Creek Road between Main and Reading, and Walnut between Main and Reading. None of those areas would be impacted by those.
What about Main Street here?
Yeah, that's where we stop.
Yeah.
So
They're not
we're
doing Main Street.
Creek Road between Reading and Main.
And most of those poles, Mike, are going to be on the upper part of Main Street, up closer to where, like, Ben lives, on that side, and then down by the apartment complex?
Gotcha. Okay, so once
We're not
where
that
the
far.
road splits and goes one way, there's not going to be poles on that part then, on that loop? Any of the Duke poles?
So there'll be poles on the Main Street side. So
Where the
So,
apartment complex
where
is?
if you're coming down Sharon Road into downtown and going up to Ameristop, so that street that you're going
toward the fire station, that's where the poles will have an impact. But everything that where we're looking to move forward on design now is not hitting that portion. We're dealing with the other side.
Yeah, I'm still not picking that up, so it's just me, obviously, but it looks to me like that what I'm hearing you describe is gonna be on this part of it, and I don't know, what is that, Casey? What road am I talking about here? Is it gonna go along that or not? Yeah, this road here.
Not going along that road.
It's not, and it's not gonna be over
See
here.
where those squares are, those red
Yep.
squares? Those are what we're talking about.
Right, that's Walnut right there.
Okay, so none of this dash line then, we're not discussing.
Just the red
Right,
squares is
right.
where we're at right now.
Yeah,
Gotcha, okay,
yeah, this,
that I get. Okay,
yeah,
now
this-
I got it.
yeah, this map here just shows you those 3 small areas that we're talking about within the overall area.
Now I get it. I was thinking the dash lines were included in that, so never mind.
Questions?
So on the telephone poles, just Claire, so we're Main Street, or we're not gonna touch the ones by Depot Deli, or what, Depot Square, Cliffs, those would remain the way they are?
Right.
Yes.
Perfect, thank you.
Go ahead.
John, if you could pull up the creek really quick. We may be able to work with the property owner, but the bollards closer to Depot Square, we're potentially cutting off a parking lot for the House of the Institute. And again, we may be able to work with that property owner so there's no issues if we're ever closing that, but that could be an issue as we progress forward.
Closing it permanently?
Not
or-
permanently,
Oh, just,
because currently I think she's open 7 days a week,
Okay.
if I remember correctly. And but again, we may be able to work with her on this, so.
any other questions? Thank you.
I just,
Mayor?
so I'm taking that as we're proceeding forward
Yeah,
and we're gonna get dollar figures so that we can continue
Move
to look
forward.
at designing this project based on what you've seen. I mean, I don't need a vote, but what I'm hearing is silence, so, I hope you're excited about it, cause I am.
do we have
I think
legislation
the designs are
money
really
tonight?
great. I don't think we need it. We have money
Oh,
in the budget
okay.
to do it.
Mr.
That-
Lippert?
I was going to show there, yes, actually in 2021, we did, yeah.
Yeah.
There is
Okay.
design contingency there for this.
I didn't know we were looking for final feedback, so knowing that, I'll say I don't like the sharrows. I think they're confusing. It's either a bike lane or it's a road. That's it.
Good. Anybody else now that we've,
I still would like to, I think I'm alone in this, but I would still like this to be a gas light district. I'd like to have gas lights instead of electric lights. I'm just gonna throw that out there. I think it would make it more interesting downtown.
anybody else?
I'm sorry, I'll say something. Not to go against Mr. Lippert by any means, shape, or form, I apologize. Actually, when you showed that, I very much liked the shared lanes, because I've ridden on them quite a bit, and I found them to be very beneficial. It gives people a heightened awareness of who's on the road with them, but also keeps it open. So I apologize, Mr. Lippert.
Could make it look like a motorcycle, I'd love it. Go ahead.
And I couldn't tell, around the splash pad there on the corner, was there going to be any type of fencing?
Right, that's something we've been talking about here. So this is where the amphitheater will
Yes.
be. So there'll be a wall there, probably higher than the current sign that's out there now.
Okay.
So, and actually, that is probably the space where the digital sign will be mounted.
Okay.
And
The reason I asked with, when my kids were younger, they're
Right.
playing in the engine there, they're close to a busy street, just having that fence there, some peace of mind. Thank you.
Yes, Sue.
I'm not a bicycle rider, but I noticed we have a lot of bike racks on our plan. I don't ever see a lot of people in downtown Sharonville riding bikes, and if we're like gonna get our families to go ride their bikes, where are they gonna go? I mean, there's not a lot of places unless they go to the splash pad. I think, you know what I mean? I'm saying that we're providing all this opportunity, but, you know, you ride your bikes down one time, and well, there's nothing to do, so we'll go. I'm just concerned with, we need to kind of look at maybe have a little more entertainment. I know with the amphitheater and everything, but it's just, we need to, when the people come downtown Sharonville, what are they doing? Because we have a bar, we have a restaurant, we have a pizzeria, and that's about it. And I mean, so we have a couple other restaurants, but I'm just saying, I just think we need to maybe start looking into grabbing more businesses, family businesses where people, hey, let's ride our bike down to get an ice cream, but we don't have anything. I'm just throwing that out because I just noticed on the thing, there's a lot of bike racks, so.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I agree. I mean, that's kind of why we're doing this. That's why we're making this investment, is hoping that it will bring people in. Creating a splash pad will obviously hopefully attract families to come into the downtown stay, visit a pizza parlor, visit a new Good Pie Y'all. I don't know if you all have been following on Facebook, but they've been doing Friday. They've been Friday afternoon mini pies that they've been offering. I think they opened at 3 and they've been selling out of them within 15 to 30 minutes, which is fantastic news for them. But they obviously need to make more. Which is great, which I think is heading in the right direction. But the hope is that kind of what we did with Chester Road. We're going to invest in our infrastructure, give us a place, a destination for people to go to, which hopefully will attract some folks to fill in some of our empty businesses along the way, as well as bring some extra business to the folks that are already there. And I think, you know, the plan that Kleininger has put together for us, I think it got very good positive feedback at the meeting. I like what I'm seeing, and I hope you do too. I'm excited about it.
Anybody else? Thank you.
And then just the legislation this evening. Scott is here this evening to talk about 2021-58E and our enterprise program.
Good evening. This legislation, we bring this now kind of looking for the annual budget because we'd like to add some vehicles to the enterprise lease program. Program has worked really successful for us. We replaced very lucratively our 2019 truck, our 2018 trucks with 2020 trucks. What this piece of legislation does is it appropriates the net difference to replace these 7 vehicles listed with 6 new F-250s. And we were also proposing to, which this should be an estimate no cost, to roll over the 2021 to 2022.
Any questions about it? Are we going to be able to get 2022 trucks? I'm just asking for a friend.
Now, the order for non-government has already cut off.
Okay.
We're a private individual. The order for 2022 F-250s and above. So the window for government is penciled in to close October 1st, and that's why we brought this as an emergency. We
Okay.
won't be surprised if that closes sooner. Actually, the board almost something a little bit tough. So we will get the orders in, and then we will wait and see. We are waiting for the 3 F-150s. We ordered for the police side.
Okay.
So.
Perfect. Thank you.
And then Steve's here to talk about the GVA roof project as well as the voice vote.
Sounds like my next community service committee is going to be able to talk about anything related to shadows. The GVA replacement project was set up, was put out to bid. We received bids, a bid opening, I guess, from this week, around 8:30. The legislation before you this morning, or this evening,
Wow. No, thank you. You want me to stay up there and talk?
The other thing I've got for you tonight is a voice vote to provide approval to move forward with submitting for a grant from the Municipal Road Fund. I believe these funds are from the license plate fees that they pay for renewals. We're going to request, I believe it's around $60,000 for the engineering design for the Cornell Road culvert repair. This is a project that I will bring legislation before you later in the year to apply for WC funding for the actual construction. But we'd like to go ahead and apply to the MRF funding, which is due, the application is due Friday. So I would like voice vote on the voice vote, just for approval to go ahead and try to apply for the engineering.
Perfect. Any questions on that?
Which culvert you looking at, Steve?
The one that is almost in the action.
Okay, the one towards, at the top of the hill.
If they were interested in that piece of property, they come to market, they would just go ahead and culvert before we fix it. It's on Coronado just before.
Okay.
Right after the Unicorn Line.
Mr. Schmidt asked me which one, where it was. And
Which way, where's the repair needed? I believe it's on the north, no, it's on the, yes, on the north, I believe it's on the north side. I think the south side already got repaired.
Anybody else? Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
That's it this evening.
All right, thank you. All right. For my report tonight, first of all, I just want to say thank you to all of you who stepped up, donated, stood out, waved flags, everything. You'll never know how much that meant to our police officers and our police department and the Vanover family. So thank you very much. They really did appreciate all the gestures. It was kind of neat to watch our fire department and our police department interact on Saturday, and everybody played wonderfully in the sandbox. And it was a team effort, and it was really nice to watch. So just thank you for all of that. And that's all I really have this evening. So we'll go on to our Clerk of Council, Ms. Buhite.
Thank you, no report.
Thank you. Our Law Director, Mr. Pietmeyer.
Thank you. With reference to Code 51, we had the Liquor Board hearing last Friday. It lasted about 3 hours. The jury is still out in the sense that the hearing officer has 30 days after that hearing to make a decision. I don't know that anything I would say here would get back to that hearing officer, but in an abundance of caution, I would rather not comment on what went on at the hearing just for that reason. I wouldn't want the hearing officer to think that I'm trying to improperly influence a decision. So it lasted about 3 hours. I represented the city. There was an attorney from Columbus that specializes in liquor matters that represented Code 51, and that's all I'll say at this point.
Thank you for your time.
Okay.
Now is the time for residents that wish to be heard this evening. My favorite guy, Mr. Schmidt. Thanks for standing with me on Saturday morning.
Tim Schmidt, 12215 Quick Place. I really didn't mean to say anything tonight, but in talking about the woo, one concern I have, I don't ride a bicycle, but when I see shared bike lane or designated bike lane, I see so many people, bike riders, they'll ride 2 or 3 wide, which blocks the traffic, the regular roadway. They don't always, in fact, most of the time, they do not obey traffic rules such as stop signs, red lights, that type of thing. I pay almost 60 cents per gallon of gasoline to use the road, plus what I pay for my license plate to use the road. Bicyclists pay nothing, and yet they take over the road. So that's one of the concerns I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Council committees, community development, Mr. Tankersley.
Thank you. I have no report, but I did send everybody a email. I hope everybody got that from the Waterford Homeowners Association on the card to the police department
Thank you.
for
Yes.
Steve Hanover. So that's all I have. Thank you.
Okay. Community Services, Mr. Lippert.
Thank you. So we've actually met twice since the last council meeting. The September 1st meeting was our standard meeting, and the report of both the Public Works Department as well as Recreation is on file with the clerk, Mrs. Buhite. We had a supplemental meeting earlier this evening in regards to the next phase of Gorman Park. Met with MSP. It was a productive meeting. We gave them some direction on giving us a final design so that Mr. Blomer is able to apply for some funding through ODNR, and it was really nice. That's all I have, unless anybody has questions.
Any questions?
Thank
Seeing
you.
none, thank you. Budget and Finance, Mr. Cook.
Thank you. No report this evening, but the next Budget and Finance meeting will take place on September 28th at 6 p.m. in the Administrative Conference Room. And then moving on to Project Oversight, no report. Thank
Okay,
you.
Thank you. Honored Citizens, Ms. Knight.
Yes, tonight I participated in as far as University to honor all the police departments that they were Blue Ash, Glendale, and the Ohio State Patrol. They covered the calls for 3 p.m. They rode during Horror Hound. Also, I would like to an honor the 6:30 before. Thank you.
You said 6:30?
Mm-hmm.
Sue, did you bring up Springdale on the extra patrol help?
I got this from Amy Ward, and she might have.
Springdale was involved.
Springdale was there too. Okay, I stand corrected.
Yeah. Okay, Law and Public Safety, Mr. Schmidt.
Yes, thank you. The next Law and Public Safety Committee meeting will be on September 21st, 4 p.m. Administrative Conference Room. Thank you.
Thank you. Rule suspension. First and only reading with immediate effectivity for Ordinance 2021-58E and Resolution 2021-R13E. Unfinished business, please. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm moving on. I'm just thinking you guys just do whatever I ask. Sorry. Is there a motion? So moved by Mr. Wilson, second by Mrs. Knight. Is there any discussion? All those in favor, yes?
Yes.
All those opposed, no, and thank you. I appreciate that. Now we can move on to unfinished business.
All right. Second reading of Ordinance 2021-55, authorizing the Safety Service Director to enter into an addendum to the current contract with Swim Safe Pool Management for Aquatic Operations, extending the contract for 1 year for the calendar year 2022 and approving a fee schedule for that year. And that's the end of unfinished.
And we'll go to new business.
Okay. First and only reading of Emergency Ordinance 2021-58E, amending appropriations in various funds and authorizing the Safety Service Director to place orders for replacement vehicles under the existing enterprise lease program and disposing of excess vehicles and declaring an emergency.
Is there a motion to pass Ordinance 2021-58E? So moved by Mr. Lippert, second by Mr. Lovett. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, roll call.
Mr. Tankersley?
Yes.
Mr. Wilson?
Yes.
Mr. Lippert?
Yes.
Mr. Lovett?
Yes.
Mr. Cook?
Yes.
Mrs. Knight?
Yes.
And Mr. Schmidt?
Yes.
Emergency Ordinance 2021-58E has been approved. First and only reading of Resolution 2021-R13E, resolution to authorize the Safety Service Director to reject all previously received bids for the Golden View Acres roof replacement project and to rebid the project and declaring an emergency.
Is there a motion, or I'm sorry, is there a motion to pass Resolution 2021R13E? So moved by Mr. Tankersley, second by Mrs. Knight. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, roll call.
Mr. Tankersley?
Yes.
Mr. Wilson?
Yes.
Mr. Lippert?
Yes.
Mr. Lovett?
Yes.
Mr. Cook?
Yes.
Mrs. Knight?
Yes.
And Mr. Schmidt?
Yes.
Resolution 2021R13E has been approved.
Thank you. A voice vote has been requested. All in favor of applying for a grant for the Municipal Road Fund for our Cornell Road culvert? Say yes.
Yes. Yes.
Those opposed, no. And that carries. Did you need something, Mr. Tankersley? Oh, okay. Anyone else wish to be heard this evening? Come on back up, sir.
Just want to be real quick. I've missed so many council meetings this summer. I like to come to the council meeting just to see everybody. And it's so good to see all of you again, and especially with what went on tonight with the fire department area. That was just wonderful. I'm so glad I came. Thank you.
Glad you were here. Thank you.
We enjoy having you here too, sir.
Any other matters to be heard this evening before council? Seeing none, is there a motion for adjournment? So moved by Mr. Tankersley, second by Mr. Lovett. All those in favor, yes? Yes. Those opposed, no, and we do stand adjourned.